They claim to speak for the voiceless. They call themselves the defenders of democracy and justice. But behind the polished image of the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan, or HRCP, lies a shadowy network of foreign funding, selective activism, and questionable silence. For decades, the HRCP has operated as a high-profile NGO, organizing press conferences, issuing reports, and releasing bold statements against Pakistan's state policies. But the most important question remains buried beneath their advocacy. Where does their money come from? How are they running such high-budget operations year after year without any publicly disclosed, verifiable financial transparency? They speak of accountability, yet refuse to be held accountable themselves. Despite repeated concerns, HRCP has never brought on record who exactly funds them. Independent watchdogs and retired security officials have long pointed out how some NGOs, including HRCP, are used as soft tools of foreign influence, in particular by Western intelligence networks like MI6 and CIA, to shape internal narratives in developing nations like Pakistan. This isn't speculation. This is a pattern. Their foreign funding trail, while never openly declared, leads back to several Western donors with direct or indirect links to intelligence agencies and hostile diplomatic outfits. These groups operate under the guise of humanitarian assistance, but serve strategic geopolitical interests. Let's break down their activism. When Israeli fighter jets reduce entire neighborhoods in Gaza to rubble, when hospitals are bombed, when over 10,000 Palestinian children are killed, HRCP is nowhere to be found. No condemnation, no statement, no press conference. Their silence isn't neutral, it's complicity through omission. When thousands of Kashmiris suffer human rights abuses in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, when Indian forces blind young children with pellet guns, when mass graves and disappearances become routine, HRCP doesn't lead global outrage. It barely mutters a word. But when Pakistan takes even the most basic security measures to protect its borders, its institutions, or its people, HRCP jumps into action. They hold urgent pressers. They publish lengthy condemnations. They paint Pakistan's government and armed forces as oppressors. Why? Why the selective outrage? Why is there silence on genocide, but noise on sovereignty? This isn't about human rights. It's about foreign-funded narratives. It's about using the language of rights to target Pakistan's core institutions. It's about dismantling national unity under the pretext of civil liberties. Let's be very clear. Real human rights advocacy is universal. It doesn't look away when children are being bombed in Gaza. It doesn't go silent when Kashmir bleeds. It doesn't cherry-pick its outrage based on which donor is watching. But HRCP's pattern speaks louder than any report they've ever published. They've made it clear. Their job isn't to protect victims of oppression. Their job is to shape public discourse within Pakistan according to foreign priorities. Look at the maps in their research papers. More often than not, they conveniently avoid showing Kashmir as part of Pakistan. Their language always leans toward a certain neutrality, but only when it suits foreign agendas. And when patriotic Pakistani voices raise questions about this, they're branded as anti-democratic or militant, as if defending national sovereignty is somehow against human rights. Let's not be fooled. This is not a case of one rogue organization. This is part of a broader pattern where foreign agencies fund selective narratives in Muslim countries to undermine their unity, their security, and their sense of purpose. HRCP is merely one instrument in this orchestra of influence. They wear the cloak of civil society, but function as foreign proxies. They're louder against Pakistan than they are against India or Israel. They document what suits the narrative and ignore what doesn't. This is not what Pakistan needs. Pakistan deserves real human rights defenders, those who raise their voice for Gaza, Kashmir, Pakistan's political prisoners, and victims of all state violence equally. Pakistan deserves transparency from every NGO that operates in its territory. And Pakistan deserves unity, not division fueled by foreign cash. Until HRCP comes clean about its funding sources. Until they start condemning all atrocities, not just the ones that fit a Western narrative. They remain nothing more than a foreign-funded propaganda machine operating under the cover of human rights. This is not about silencing dissent. This is about exposing hypocrisy, about demanding the same accountability from watchdogs that they demand from everyone else, and about reminding every Pakistani that selective outrage is not activism. It is agenda.